Alright, where do we begin?
Ooh, there's a couple of things we could begin with. I suppose...
Why don't we begin with what tea we're drinking?
We are drinking another one of our holiday teas. The candy cane tea. Guess what it tastes like?
Tea.
I'm gonna say it tastes like gingerbread.
No,
that.
no. That was 2 weeks ago. This is candy cane.
Oh, does it taste like candy canes?
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually, now that I think about it. Wow, actually, I was a huge idiot for saying gingerbread.
You okay there, young man?
You're a huge idiot for saying you draw words.
Oh,
you knew what I was saying.
I was.
Welcome to the Dragon's Flow Teacast, episode 16?
Ish.
Somewhere around there.
Close enough. Doesn't matter.
I am the tea man.
I'm Nick.
And I'm drinking tea.
You sure are.
I am what I eat.
So I suppose the first thing we can begin with is what I think is probably the biggest news of this week. Funimation being acquired by Sony.
Just blow your load right off the bat, huh?
Yeah. That's why I'm still single. I really don't... I did not see this coming. I didn't even hear talks about it. This was kind of...
It's kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it sucks because Sony just... When they take things, they tend to ruin it.
Why do you say that?
Because they have a history of that.
Such as?
I'm trying to think of examples.
Well, as he thinks of examples, the article...
As he struggles to think of examples.
The article was written by, they knew that would be people's reaction. It said, basically, we're still going to be the same Funimation you've known and loved, but now we'll have the backing of Funimation. And they're trying to, put a positive spin on
Sony.
it. Sony, sorry. Now we'll have the backing of Sony, and they gave a couple names, and it was just basically no, guys, it's okay. We'll totally be the same. It's like the...
Yeah, we're running damage control, so it'll be fine.
Kind of. Well, it's more like it's more like when you're graduating junior high and we'll keep in touch forever.
Of course, when I'm on the spot, I can't think of any of the examples.
Yeah. I can't really think of any. I don't think Sony's done that bad of a job with things, except making video games into movies. But, what do you expect?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
To each their medium. To each their medium.
Yeah.
They do keep getting hacked by people.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that too. But, that's also not their fault. To an extent it is, but not really. Everything gets hacked.
I'm kind of hoping that this will be one of the first examples of a takeover that actually does what they're saying they're going to do.
Yeah.
It's just basically let's say Funimation wanted just more funding to do something that it wants to do, so it let itself get like a fusion dance. They actually just merge, and then they don't just completely take it over and try to run it like Sony. This is Funimation.
Right.
They were pretty successful because they were.
Yeah. I think they were also kind of... they were high money, low staff.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a thing. They acquired everything, but they used, every same few, 10 voice actors for the same things. We watched an episode of Ghost Stories yesterday, and I could hear the neighbor from Welcome to the NHK and the classmate from Full Metal Panic, and it's just you hear that one guy and he's a million characters at once, and depending on what you saw first, it's embedded in your mind forever. No, not that guy.
I remembered when I was watching Kame ga Kill, one of the characters is basically Kamina, and he was voiced by Kamina. and it just kept messing with me because.
Yeah.
And then on the same damn episode, they died.
No.
It's like, okay, you guys knew this wasn't an accident.
No, it wasn't. They were completely trying to not rip off, but capitalize on its success.
I gotta get back to watching that. I stopped episode 11 or something.
Yeah, me too.
It was a weekly thing by the time I caught up, and then I just kind of forgot.
I watched the first episode right when it came out, and then I was like, this is terrible. I don't see what the hype is. And then I picked it up years later, and it was like, oh, it's not bad, actually.
Pretty surprising.
Yeah. Considering the hype surrounding it, and I don't know, memes or something.
Boobs.
Yeah, that was the big thing. It was like, oh, it's just a fan service show, and I kind of shrugged it off.
It's half fan service. I wouldn't call it full fan service, but they're definitely using it.
You don't say.
Yeah. So, as far back as my memory is going right now, my memory is not the best, because yesterday was Halloween. I'll just leave it at that. The only acquirements I remember that didn't end poorly was Disney and Marvel, because Disney actually left them alone.
This will ruffle a few feathers, but I don't think that the Star Wars acquisition.
He also had a fun time at Halloween.
Keeping the fun times rolling, bros.
Yet I'm the drunk one.
Yeah, you were.
Nick was drunk.
Nick was
shit.
really drunk. And anyway, so I thought that their first few movies were pretty decent. The Rogue One was really good, and the prospect of having they instantly, once they got it, I assume, started making
the Phase 3 board of everything that they're gonna do, like with Marvel.
Kind of. Where they instantly started making the theme park.
Oh,
that looks awesome. And
I didn't even know this existed.
Oh yeah, it's 90% of the way there. They have Star Wars World where you can go to the cantina, and I mean it's totally a cash grab, but they're doing it.
Is Harry Potter Disney, or is that something
else?
That's
Universal Studios did that.
Yeah.
Which I was there in its early phase. That's also fun. But
I'm sure
this Star Wars World, Disney, when they make parks, they go all out.
Well, I mean, that's
one of their
second biggest thing.
Yeah. So, anyways, from that side, they're doing a lot of good. Especially, if you look at the last few things that Star Wars was responsible for, just they're kind of digging it back out a little bit. So.
You mean the prequel trilogy?
That, and yeah, they really weren't doing too much. So I actually think that
they made a lot of good games.
Actually, wait a minute.
That's true.
When was Star Wars acquired? Before the prequels or after?
After the prequels.
Before the new movies.
Yeah, before The Force Awakens was their first movie.
Wait, I can't remember this. I remember R2-D2 and
BB-8?
C-3PO making a guest appearance on a Disney sitcom.
That sounds about right.
It was very awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was really nervous when they took it over. I'm actually, to be more accurate, I was no, this is awful. And then
wait, do you mean
no? Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Backstroke of the West.
Yeah. But I've been mostly pleasantly surprised. And so I think at worst it's been sort of a lateral shift, and in some ways I think they have helped the universe. So
I don't like how they declared that everything that existed outside of the movies and a couple other select things are not canon just because. But, who cares?
Disney has always ruled with an iron fist. Mickey the Tyrant.
Well, have you heard stories about Disney World?
What kind of stories?
Yeah.
I've heard lots of stories about Disney World.
We don't have alligators
Some great,
here.
some awful.
You know, stuff like, if you don't wipe the sweat off your brow in the same way Jasmine did, you're fired.
Yeah. Well, shoot, I'm trying to think when I went there. Like, it was when I was 18 or something. And we were in the gift shop, and my mom got something, and the way that the guy said, you know, was basically like, it's magic. I'm just like, I could hear his soul. Like, he was pleasant, he was happy, but I could just hear, like, this underlying, like, he said it 1,000 too many times. You know?
At the bottom of the receipt is, you have been served by, please help me.
Welcome to Disney, I love you. Welcome to Disney, I love you.
But yeah, I've heard, I mean, what's kind of neat in this world is some of it seems to be what you make it. And so I've heard the stories of you need to be an exact size, be, you know, Disney princesses, and it's just like oddly cutthroat for trying to be Tinkerbell. But on the other side of it, I've seen like all those Gaston videos where like a little girl challenges Gaston to an arm wrestling competition and like sort of pulls some trickery and beats him, and instead of, you know, like bad things coming out, they just like make the people's day. Oh, and you'd actually appreciate this one, T-Man. There's one where Gaston is just, he's basically trying to play like a chauvinist. Like, I think that's what they tell him, which is really funny. Yeah. Because in this world, you know, day and age, it's almost hard to imagine them getting away with it. But he had his arm around this one girl to take a picture, and she was blushing, and he's like, "Oh, you're in love with me?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "You're blushing, which means you're in love with me." And she's like, "I'm not blushing." He's like, "Wait a second, let's get an unbiased opinion." He walks over to the next person. He's like, "What would you say about the general complexion of this girl next to me?" I mean, she looks kind of Caucasian. But the color of her cheeks, rosy, which means that she is embarrassed. Are you embarrassed? And then he leads her through. Do you want people not to notice you're blushing? And she's just like, yeah, I don't want people to notice. He's, all right, everyone, don't look at this girl. She is blushing because she's in love with me. And anyways, so my point is, like, some of these characters, they just sort of, they take this character and they make it their own, and it's really cool to see some of these things that come out of it.
I've heard some good stories.
Yeah, there's some great stories, and there's some awful stories. Yeah. And so some of it is what you make out of it, and some of it is, you know, that being the tyrant of peace. And
and then there's the sign that says, "Do not mention the alligators to anyone," taped to the locker room or whatever.
Yeah, there's some dark things in that subway under Disney.
The subway?
Yeah, that's where underneath the streets,
the tunnels.
There's like a labyrinth of tunnels where the characters take off their heads and they change the costumes and stuff. A lot of dark things happen under there. It's literally an underworld.
That's where the real characters come out.
It's literally the underworld.
You know, this just popped into my mind. Going back to the plots with Funimation. Sony being, you know, almost the PS4, how many more anime games do you think might come out of this?
Zero.
Zero?
I mean, they don't own... Well, Funimation is an English thing. They don't own the rights to English anime. I guess they could make their own anime, but they're not going to do that.
Anime games, you mean?
Yes. No, they could make their own anime series and then consequently make their own anime games. But they don't own the rights to DBZ, for example.
Yeah, okay.
You know, what's it called? We hear it before every single episode of Abridged. What is it?
Team
Akira
Force.
Toriyama and Fuji TV. Yeah. Fuji TV owns the rights to Dragon Ball. So they have to deal with the Japanese companies, which,
yeah, that's fine.
you know, if they want to, they could. But theoretically it could mean that, but I doubt it.
Ooh, I wonder what this means for Crunchyroll. Because some of Funimation stuff, you know, they had to deal. I wonder if Sony's going to be like, no, it's only for us now.
Well, Sony Sony does have their own streaming service, so it depends on what kind of exclusivity contracts they have. I'm pretty sure that Funimation and Crunchyroll don't have exclusivity because a lot of the things on Crunchyroll you can get in other places. There's a thing called VRV.
Bless you.
That has popped up recently, which is basically Crunchyroll plus other stuff.
Yeah, because remember with the new DBC episode 109, 110, that whole fiasco,
Yeah.
they occasionally said, try watching it on this thing. And that didn't work either, but yeah, so they linked me directly to that place.
Well, the Verve thing, apparently you get, like, it's got a couple, like, original things, like, web series, not like, you know, it's not Netflix originals, but it's like, you know, a lot of, like, YouTube celebrities have their own shows on there, I guess. I know almost nothing about this, but this is... I saw a post on it as on Crunchyroll as I was watching it today, and they were like, "What's the deal with this?" So I was looking at it too because I wanted to know. And apparently, it's just another thing, and if you subscribe to that, you subscribe to Crunchyroll as well. So, kind of confusing, but I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
If you know what this is about, send us an email at teacast@thedragonstreasure.com.
Yes. Please help.
You're our only hope.
Please save us. Save us, anyone.
Ooh.
You're our only hope.
Speaking of thedragonstreasure.com, starting today, we're having another contest. Well, no, not a contest, but another chance to win cool stuff for free. So, during this month of November, if you spend, for every $15 you spend in the store, you are entered for a chance to win your very own copy of Dragon Ball FighterZ.
FighterZ edition.
Mm-hmm. The money... No, just the base game. I only have so much. Well, if enough people do it, I might just up it just because, you know, hey, you're awesome. And I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. So yeah.
You are crazy.
Yes, I am.
And
it's
spontaneous.
Yeah. You don't have to spend all the money all at once. At the end of the month, I'm going to look at the people who bought it. I'm going to look at how much money they spent total, and that's how I'm going to give them the chance to win. So you can spend like $7 one day, $12 the next, and that'll count for $15, etc., etc.
So every $15 you spend gets you another chance, right?
Yes. And then for the month of December, I decided I'm going to do something similar. You're going to have a chance to win another thing of FighterZ, but I'm going to make it a bit more interesting.
Ooh, this is the first I've heard of this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, me too.
Because I decided about this like 2 days ago.
Should we wait until December to announce that?
Yes.
Ha!
Because I want to make sure I got all my stuff figured out properly.
Oh, now I don't get to know until...
Don't worry about that, though. Worry about November's
4 weeks.
competition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, November might be... Yeah, I forget. Yeah, so go to my website, buy some tea, or DBZ color-changing mugs, or pretty much anything you want.
There's a ton of DBZ content and Dragon Ball related content. You will not be disappointed if you are a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't win, you'll have some Dragon Ball stuff.
Yes. And doing so supports things like this podcast.
Yes.
And all the other fun stuff. We've given out so far in the past year... What have we given out? We've given out Nintendo 3DS Galaxy, probably some other names to it.
New Nintendo 3DS XL Lite. It's
I don't Galaxy know. Edition.
I don't
like
know
that.
something.
We've given out
3DS XL.
Given out
new 3DS.
What was it? Like three major video games for the 2-year anniversary. I can't even remember what they were anymore.
I think they were fighting games.
One of them was like Naruto Ninja Storm. Injustice 2 was another one, and Destiny 2 was the third.
My favorite thing was when
Destiny's not a fighting game.
You're not a fighting game.
That's correct.
My favorite thing was when we sent the people that had really helped us some free tea in like personalized boxes. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially when we saw some of them at the Midwest Tea Fest.
Like, oh,
like,
great.
you guys are the ones who sent me the thing. It also helped because I managed to hook a couple of people on some OTs they haven't tried. So from a business perspective, meanwhile, back to the plots. Speaking of Dragon Ball FighterZ, we have a lot of interesting news with that. So, a couple of things have come out. Number one, we now have an idea of what the Dragon Balls will do if you collect all 7.
Do we?
Yes. Do you want to know, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you collect all 7 in the game, you have a choice of one of 4 things, depending on which one you want. You can revive a fallen ally. You can send your own health all the way back to full. You can make yourself invincible for a small period of time. And I forgot what the name of it was, but like that special thing where once you activate it, you're a little bit stronger, your health slowly recovers. You get that spark back if you already used it. And so if you collect all 7 Dragon Balls, you get to choose one of those 4 things in the middle of the match.
So how do you get a Dragon Ball?
They have not fully clarified yet. All we know is that if you do certain specific things, a Dragon Ball pops out.
Is this a single-player only thing where you have to spend a bunch of time getting one, or is this just any match?
We don't know yet. It can't be single-player because we saw it when 2 people were fighting each other live streaming. Because there's some kind of event going on somewhere, so... Yeah. We got to see some more of Nappa and Ginyu, and a little bit of the other ones. Tien's got a new level 3 super, which I absolutely love.
What is it?
He sends out Chatsu, and Chatsu blows himself up.
Oh,
Tien, I thought you meant Yamcha.
No, Tien.
Okay.
So yeah, and he gets all sad.
Haven't seen much of Tien.
Yeah, like I said, they're still working on the characters. I'm hoping to do more with Nappa, because right now he looks
he just
too simplistic.
Kind of generic.
Yeah.
He has energy beams.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The Cyberman is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Oh, going back to Tien real quick, if you do that level 3 super, Chatsu is usually an assist. He's actually dead, so you can't use him again.
That makes sense.
That's fun.
I kind of like Ginyu, because it's the whole squad.
Yeah, and it really is the whole squad. I saw footage of somebody playing as Ginyu. Yeah, there's just like Ginyu members flying all over the place, and it's fun. He actually looks like a really fun character because of that.
This is why I'm glad that Arxis is making it, because they do crazy character things. Like, no 2 characters are the same.
Oh, also with his body...
The only characters that I can imagine are anywhere near each other are Goku and Vegeta. And even they have their differences.
With the body swap thing, after you body swap, your opponent cannot change out the character for a while.
Oh, nice touch.
Yeah, so for a 3v3 game, that's pretty big. What else do we have? So we saw Nappa, like I said. So with the Cybermen, the rules that we know so far is that it's not like a one hit and it's done. It stays on the field for a small period of time. It's got a close, medium, and long range attack. It can slash at you, it can shoot acid at you, it can also blow up on you. The planting takes about a little over a second. We're not sure yet if you can do more than one at a time. So far we've only seen one at a time. Otherwise, Nappa just looks like a big, bulky, hit him hard and you're done type of dude.
Yeah.
Yep. We saw more footage of the single-player stuff. It's not translated yet, so we don't know what was said, but it's a lot of interesting stuff. So it seems like the good guys and the bad guys are going to be teaming up to fight these new super androids, whatever they call them.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise.
What else?
At least I don't think it is.
What else did they show with that? We get to see Yamcha's outro pose if he ever wins.
If.
Yeah. There's a chance, we don't know yet, but there's a chance you can customize what assist the other players do. So, when you call in one of your people?
Yeah.
Because in the live stream they were showing, Piccolo had a different assist attack. And so we don't know yet if they changed that, or if you can manually change it somehow. Like, I select him, use assist attack 2.
Right.
Or something like that. Oh... Yeah, I still gotta wait for the translation of what was being said in the single-player story mode stuff. But it looked really fun and interesting. The music got me all nice and hyped.
Speaking of music, we talked about the DLC stuff last week.
Yes.
But I did find out the voice track thing was the commentator from Budokai Tenkaichi.
Is he different than the usual?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, what's the music gonna be if you don't get the music pack?
Well, I guess
nothing. Something.
Well, speaking of irrelevant things, so for Dragon Ball Xenoverse, they're gonna come out with the DLC 5, and we found out they're also gonna have a DLC 6. By the time DLC 6 comes out, FighterZ will probably be out, so it's kind of... I'm not sure if they're hoping people are gonna keep playing Xenoverse after FighterZ,
Yeah,
but
they are.
They are?
I mean, it's a different style of game. It's, they've got way more characters. It's going on sale a lot, so there's that.
People are also wondering if we're gonna have to pay extra, because the season pass, when you bought Xenoverse 2, it said Xenoverse plus the 4 DLCs. And so DLC 5 and 6 coming out, are those going to be separate, or who knows?
Speaking of paying extra, I was looking at the Steam forums, and people were comparing recent fighting games and their price shenanigans. Street Fighter V and this are the only $60 fighting games that have come out. Everything else has been $30, $40.
Huh.
So it seems like they're kind of gouging just Dragon Ball fans because they know that we'll buy it.
I'm not sure why they charge so low. I mean, I never noticed that, and honestly, I don't really care. I'm okay with giving them my money.
I am too, but there's kind of like a weird standard that, it's a AAA game, it has to be $60.
Yep.
Because that's the price of a AAA game.
That's pretty much what I expect too. I mean, if it isn't,
well, that's what you expect. But
yeah.
When you take into the account that it's also got $40 worth of DLC, $50, it's $115 total. If they just set the base price lower, like the rest of like every other fighting game, then like they could have just set the base price at $60 and included all of the DLC, or they're never gonna give away free DLC, but I don't know. It's kind of complicated. Like, I don't mind paying $60 for this, but they could have made it cheaper, probably. Considering Guilty Gear was, I think it was 30 or 40 when it first came out, and it's pretty much the same. I think they had like around the same amount of DLC too. Though the story mode was way less intricate from what it sounds like.
That's reminding me. Oh yeah, there are some AAA games that give free DLC. Like Civilization 6. They said they're going to give one free DLC each season, and they've done that so far. Speaking of which,
and The Witcher has done that, but they also have done like $15. I think 15. Like what I would consider actual good, worth it DLC, which is like the same that Dark Souls does, where it's like you get an actual half a game.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Civilization, we don't really talk about it too much because I'm the only one here who's actually played it.
I've played it, but
Yeah. They're under some hot water now because, well, a few reasons. They have made promises which they have in no way whatsoever kept. They said all the civilizations are going to have at least one extra leader. And, it's a year later, only one civilization has an extra leader, so dropping the ball a little bit on that one. Out of the 4 people they've given, I think only one of them anyone actually cares about, the Australia one. Otherwise, everyone else is just like, who is this person? Why do I care? They had some, random, ass-backwards country from Africa from who knows when, and some leader from that. The latest one was some Indonesian princess leader. Who else did I have? Some queen from Poland who called herself a king. They really emphasized that for some reason. Yes, I said king. Thank you.
Well,
and that's not all of it. It's also that just the entire base game of Civilization 6 is... They made a lot of stupid things. The first thing, which drives me up the freaking wall, is if you so much as sneeze wrong, everyone calls you a warmonger, and they will never work with you ever again, ever.
Before you get onto game mechanics, I think it's not necessarily a bad thing that they're giving out unknown people, because it's kind of a game that's about history, and if they're actual real people, then that's a good thing. You've played what's it called? God, I can't think of it, but the game where you start off as a duke or a count usually in Europe, and you have to work your way up to taking over everything, and it's usually not by war, it's by diplomacy and forging marriage alliances and stuff.
Or do you mean
Crusader Kings? Yeah, that's it.
I have not played that, actually. I have it, but I just haven't played it.
Oh, you need to play it. You, especially if you are disappointed by not being able to win by war, and you would like to do it through other methods.
I like having the options. With Civilization,
yeah,
you have the options, but realistically, you don't really have the options.
You need to play it then.
Okay. So in terms of base game mechanic stuff, if somebody declares war on you, and you defend yourself, you might as well have been the same as they're actually declaring war. Because every civilization will see it as you're being an aggressor.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's really stupid. It's been a year now. How have you not fixed this?
Well, it's been 2 decades, and they still haven't fixed Gandhi, have they?
I think Gandhi was just Civilization 5.
Oh.
I think that was just a mistake they decided to keep in. What else did they mess up with?
No, I'm pretty sure that was at least 4, too.
I thought it was one of their original mistakes that made the game big.
That's what I thought.
Possibly. I only began really playing with 5, so...
I know it was... I'm pretty sure it's been in there for a long time.
What else did we have? What stuff?
I don't play it, so...
No, this time around, the workers... You have to manually decide what the workers are going to do, as opposed to letting them just be automated. And they have charges. So...
Charges?
Yeah, you can only use a worker 3 times before they go away, and you gotta get a new one.
What, and then they self-destruct?
Pretty much, they go away.
Wow.
Die of old age, I don't know. And it's just really, really obnoxious because... One, you had the option already to choose what the workers were gonna do in the base stuff, in the previous games. And by the time you get to late game, you really don't care about what the workers are doing. And so it's just tedious as fuck, making them do every little thing when you have 20 cities. It's oh god, I wish I sent them. I don't know, just die. Just really annoying.
Just die. Go over to the death hut.
Yeah. It takes fucking 7-8 seconds for you to see. When you mouse over the tire, you're supposed to see all the benefits that could come out of it.
Yep.
It takes like 7-8 seconds for anything to come up. It's really...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you just like saying like... Duh, 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 duh.
That's pretty
Oh,
bit,
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still not
I've played
fixed.
some games where that's a bit of an issue. It's actually way more complicated to program that than you'd think. So, yeah, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah. And if you're a AAA game who's like the poster child for these type of games... Who didn't have this mistake in 5.
It's not like they can't just copy that code over.
Yeah.
It's they don't have to reinvent the mouse over system.
The leaders or the computer leaders are just stupidly fickle. It's really annoying. Like, if you have 3 ships, the Viking leader thinks you're a little bitch and now he hates you for the rest of your life. If you have 4 ships, oh, you're his friend. Until you get down to 3 ships, then your relationship is done for the rest of the millennia.
What if you have 5 ships? Are you're too good for land?
Possibly. So that the whole thing is just really obnoxious. Like, what? Why are you mad? I don't even know why you're mad anymore. Just accept my love. You really can't do diplomacy at all.
Except my love.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just you.
No, I checked. I checked. It's not just me. Fuck. There's so many like little annoying things. I'm trying to keep it to like the more important stuff. So the main thing with the ways you can win by domination victory, war, science, culture, and religion. But the main problem is if you're ahead in anything besides war, all the nations will declare war on you. So it just becomes a domination game anyway. I mean, it is possible to still win, but it's just like, try something else. Yeah. It's like, I know where this is gonna go. I've tried many games to go with pure science or culture or religion, and most of the time it never works, because by the time they notice that's what I'm doing, hey, we're gonna declare war on him. And if I'm going by a war victory, hey, let's team up and go to war with him. I want even though I like domination, I want the options of doing something else.
Yeah. Especially because that's kind of like what it's, not its gimmick, but its trademark is.
Yeah. And so
that's the core of the series, almost.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things I can think of right now which I can talk about, but I'm just gonna ramble. So
yeah,
I might go back to Civilization. Yeah, I might go back to Civilization 5 and compare it, because it's been a long time since I played 5. See how that goes. Okay, I'm done with all this ranting. Other stuff in the news: Erased live action.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. This is on Netflix.
That poster has more resolution than my real self.
What?
Huh. Okay. I'll just not ask.
Yeah. I'm a little bit nervous, because on one hand, this just seems like a really good one to make, because Japan seems to be kind of iffy when it comes to special effects.
Mm-hmm.
And so, since this one was not going to have many special effects, they might actually do a good story arc.
Well, also it's Netflix, so it's not.
Oh, you mean the people who did Death Note?
Yes, but this is hard to screw up, right?
But wait, is this going to be released in Japan first, like Japan Netflix? Okay, so we might not even. We might not even get it right away.
Let me scan this this article here while you guys talk about Civilization some more.
So will I ever find true love
In Civilization?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Your odds are better there than
Hopefully
elsewhere.
in Civilization.
Off to the woods.
It all ends in domination. Yeah, Civilization 5 was good. But, yeah, I mean, Erased is... I don't know. This seems like it should be easy to make into a live action, but at the same time, I think half of its charm was its anime qualities. Like its artwork was fun.
I know what you mean.
The sort of texture of the artwork and the story sort of working together. Because I mean, looking back on it, and I enjoyed Erased quite a bit.
It was my favorite show that season.
Yeah, probably me too. But it wasn't like anything they did was super groundbreaking. It was just it all worked together.
Yeah, which is a good story.
Yeah, well, the story too was kind of like, it's decent. There are better ways to do quasi time travel, and
it was just pulled off really well.
Well, exactly. So thinking about live action,
the ending still
I don't know how it's going to mesh.
Yeah.
This is the one.
So, premiere in Japan December 15th, and debut in 190 countries this winter, which means it's Japanese production, and then everybody else gets it.
Okay.
So, that's kind of a warning sign, because Japanese productions usually aren't that great, which sounds terrible, but it's true.
I just had a thought. One of the things that happened in the anime was it started off as he was his 8-year-old self with his adult mind. And then finally towards the end, he was almost like a re-8-year-old in his adult body. He sort of went backwards. Like, the longer that he was an 8-year-old, the less he was an adult. To the point where finally when he was adult again, he's like, how do I know all this? You know?
You lost me at the last part.
So basically, the longer he was a kid, the more he became a kid.
Yeah.
And that was one of the, sort of unique, cool things they did with the show, because nobody really considers that. So what I would do if I was making this, I would do the scenes in reverse. So, a lot of this relies on the child actor, which is a very scary place to put your faith.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of her name.
Animals and children is the rule.
Yeah. Who was the girl who played the girl in Kick-Ass?
I don't know.
I
haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Kick-Ass?
No.
You saw Kick-Ass, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw it in theaters.
Yeah, that's right.
Appropriate comment.
Yeah. Who was the girl?
Tell me later.
Okay.
Who was the girl?
I don't know her name, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So anyway, she played an adaptation to, I believe it was the Polish film, the Scandinavian, well, whatever. Let the Right One In.
Oh.
She played that, and the way that she was able to play her character, she pulled off a kid who was really old.
Let the Right One In. What was that?
That was the vampire flick. Where
yes.
Yeah.
That weird ass.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
So she pulled off a kid, and she, you could mistake her for a kid, but then there was something in her acting where you could believe that she was much older than she looked. But other than that, I've seen people try it, and besides giving kids adult dialogue, which comes off as awkward, it's hard to pull off. And so if I were to do this, I would think, I would play the what do you say? The last scenes first, so that the child actor could sort of be a child actor, and then as you progress, go backwards, so he gets closer and closer to his adult self.
You mean film them first?
Yeah, exactly. Film
or show them first.
No, film the scenes where he's like a kid, and then have the kid get better and better, and as the time goes on, sort of,
so they could develop in real life.
Exactly.
I would just hire a midget.
That's an interesting choice, especially in Japan.
Yeah.
Where's your cutoff?
Just hire a 20-year-old girl. You can find plenty of them 4'5".
The American audience, they hired someone way too young for the part.
She could be 12, she could be 26. I don't know.
So, yeah, it's
there was this idol girl person who was 50 something, and her daughter was also trying to be an idol girl person, and they took a picture together. They looked like sisters. It was scary.
Creepy.
Yeah. So, anyways, did you come to any conclusions through reading that article? Now that we've stalled enough time.
Well, it says they're filming in 4K, which is a good sign.
Ooh.
3D?
No, but it means that
Their
they're at
poster's
least
almost
going to
3D.
have a high production value, and with Netflix behind it, it makes sense. So, yeah, I have good hopes, at least.
Got high hopes.
Yeah.
He's got high. So what else do we have?
Oh yeah, Metal Gear Survive.
Survive.
Do you guys know about this?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
So it's basically, in between. So Metal Gear Solid 5. You two aren't fans of Metal Gear, really.
I like the earlier games.
Metal Gear Solid 5 came out in 2 parts because of budget shenanigans. And in between part 1 and part 2, there's a huge explosion thing that happens. And in this brave new world without Hideo Kojima being involved in Metal Gear, all the soldiers on the base get transported into zombie land, and that's Metal Gear Solid Survive.
This does not sound like it's going to be good.
It's got crafting and 4-player survival mode, and look at all these pre-order bonuses. Look at all of them. It's got weapon skins. It's got bonus weapons. It's gonna be pretty good.
Making Metal Gear Solid without the main person, it's kind of like making Dragon Ball without Akira Toriyama.
They did that.
Yeah, we had GT.
Yeah, that's basically what
Metal
it
Gear
is.
GT.
That's basically what it is. Only they were like, hey, what if Goku isn't part of this? And maybe we should have zombies instead. What's popular right now? Sailor Moon? Okay, how about Dragon Ball characters all become magical girls?
Now Bulma's the main character.
Yeah, Bulma's the main character, and Trunks is a girl for some reason.
Princess Trunks.
Princess Trunks. And
Oh man, did we talk about
everybody's gonna be a Sailor Scout.
Did we talk about the team?
Dragon Ball GT Sailor Scouts coming 2018.
Okay, now I'll go. Did we talk about the Team 4-Star post the other day with the ring and the sword?
On
here?
I don't know what you're talking about. So
Okay,
no.
so this happened actually like probably a week or two ago now, but Team 4-Star came out with, hey, we're going to do a one-shot, guess what it is? And they just had like a little, like an iPhone picture of a ring, a diamond ring, and a sword. And the comments to that were just golden. Because everyone's getting a little bit upset now. No, not a little bit. People are upset now that it's been so long since the last DB Dragon Ball Abridged.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were a couple people, probably like 1 for 100, that were just like guessing what it could be. And then the rest of them were like, ring. Rings are worn by females, like princesses. Swords, like the one Trunks uses. Princess Trunks. Finally, the Dragon Ball Abridged. You know, or if it's not Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I don't care. Some people just totally drop the pretenses. But yeah, like most of them were Princess Trunks, and if it's not, make it Princess Trunks. You know? It came out strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's their creation and all, but with the amount that they're making on Patreon, they gotta stick to their thing.
Can we, for this one, make this the thumbnail?
Oh my god. Sure.
Yeah. Back to the plot. What else do we have in, like, fun news stuff?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
That means join us for the second infusion coming up right now.
You're mine.
I'm the first in line. Honey, if you're free, take a chance on.
Oh, no. You can't do this. It's going to hit a copyright thing.
Oh, yeah.
No singing.
Alright, then.
No fun. No fun allowed.
No fun. Welcome to the second infusion. I am still the T-Man.
I'm still Nick, but I'm a fun Nazi
What the
on behalf of YouTube.
Well,
Well, we learn something new every day.
I'm confused.
Fun Nazis. You don't know about them?
I apparently know one.
They're not Nazis that are fun. It's kind of like a grammar Nazi. They're not Nazis
Okay.
who like grammar.
I see. Okay, I thought you were saying, I'm the
They're
fun
not.
Nazi.
They're the Nazis of grammar.
Come on, kids, I'll show you a struggle.
I saw you on a pamphlet once.
Okay, so back to the anime plot. Oh, Hitler makes a good anime character.
That's
I saw
you're
something
not wrong. Yeah.
this week where it was something like, if you're trying to play an evil campaign but the plot is good, it's just like Agent Hitler, CIA, reporting for duty.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll begin with Black Clover, because that one will be quick. They finally did something after 5 episodes to catch my interest. One of the leaders of the Hidden Leaf Villages, I forgot what they call them, but it's Hidden Leaf Villages, the Black Bulls.
Hidden Clover.
Yeah. One of the Hidden Clovers. He reminds me of me in a lot of ways, so I finally have at least some character to connect with. He's a dick, and he likes to screw with people to test them. Wow, that much happened in this episode. Holy crap.
Did they talk about how their stuff is still the same?
Well, I don't think they're ever going to stop bringing up the fact that he's got a 4-leaf clover. But
Wait, he's got a 4-leaf clover?
yeah, the 4-leaf clover,
That was
grimoire.
Sasuke.
Yeah, that's Sasuke.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had Sasuke fight a noble.
Wait, so who's got the 5-leaf clover?
Main character.
The main character.
Wow. Wow. Oh, yeah, so you showed us the video that's the compilation of like all the autistic screeching
In one episode.
In one episode.
It was like 6 minutes long.
It was Jesus Christ.
And it was all just
Yeah. If you want to look it up, just type in Asta ASTA screaming. You'll get plenty of stuff. So yeah, Sasuke, what was his real name? Oh, but I'm gonna keep calling him Sasuke.
Is his name?
YUNO.
You know.
Sasuke. He fought a noble, and in this universe, nobles are, a big deal.
Nobles are big deals in all universes.
So he beat the crap out of the noble like it was nothing. And so what happens is, after the fight, the 9 villages, they vote on whether or not they want somebody. So they call the people up, and they say, if any of the houses want him, raise your hand. And if nobody does, they fail. And if more than one person does, they get to choose. And was the only one which all the houses brought their hands up. For the main character,
Like as they want him as an apprentice or something?
As a member of their house to do magical stuff.
Oh.
Well, holy shit. Now that I think about it, they have not really described what anyone does.
What do you mean?
They're
nobles.
Yeah, but
that's what they do.
They're the houses of the magic knights.
They be nobles.
But they do something.
They're rich.
No, not
they
all.
They don't have to do something.
No, they're not all nobles.
Oh.
The houses, like I said, the Hidden Leaf Villages. Only one, or maybe two, 2 of the houses are nobles. The Griffith house, Silver
Gryffindor?
Eagles? Yeah. No, Griffith. They're like silver...
Oh, Griffith.
The Silver Eagles, and then the Golden Dawn, which is just like the noble house. And the one the main character went to, the Black Bulls, it is the self-proclaimed worst house to be in.
Self-proclaimed worst.
Yeah, or maybe everyone else thinks it as well, but the leader said, "Welcome to the worst house of the Magic Knights," or whatever. I don't even know if they called it house, but they haven't... Wow, this kind of is messing with me. They have not described what these people are supposed to do, and why I should care about these houses.
That reminds me of the first, 3 hours of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Explain, I have not seen that.
No, it's a game.
Oh, it's a game?
So you have these, it's kind of like that, where it's like a faction, and you have to choose, and it's like a semi-MMO, where it's a single-player game, but there's a multiplayer aspect in which, the total of points that you generate for your faction get added to your score, and everyone's kind of sort of competing, but they don't explain your goals or why you should care or anything until you complete 3 more main quests. But they ask you to choose right at the beginning during character creation. At least I think. When I don't remember. It was a couple of years ago.
So yeah,
it was it was a really weird game.
What's funny?
It was trying to be single player, but it was there were always people. It was kind of like Dark Souls, where people kind of pop in sometimes, and you can kind of see them, but they're not really there. Anyway, it was bizarre.
Black Clover is like Exposition the anime. This is actually the one time where they could have had it. And nah.
Nah, you'll figure out why these houses mattered.
Don't worry, I'm sure the next 5 episodes will be about that.
Oh my god, how do you not explain why I should care about these houses?
It's implied.
They're noble.
But they're not all nobles. like I said, the guy we saw before, who picked up the main character's head was 10, 9, before I kill you. He's the leader of the Black Bulls. He is no noble.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. But yeah, so it seems like he's just going to be a dick to the main character. So what happened is originally nobody raised their hand for the main character. And so he's like, fuck you, I'm going to become the Wizard King anyway. And so the Black Bulls guy, he basically powered up to Super Saiyan. And so everyone felt his immense deadly pressure. And he walked up to the kid, if you want to be the Wizard King... just hearing the name is just, I don't know,
Wizard King.
The Wizard King. If you want to be the Wizard King, you gotta be stronger than all the nobles or all the house leaders here, including me. You think you can do that even while feeling this pressure?
And he answered,
yeah! Yep. It's I'll still do it. So the guy's ha! Okay, I like this kid. You're gonna join us. We're not giving you a choice. Okay.
Would have been... I can't say better, but it would have been amusing had one other house been we'll give you a chance, no.
And so his first introduction to the house is they made a portal because he can't fly, and they just threw him through the portal and walked through. The main character ran up...
Can everyone else fly?
Yes.
Okay.
He can't do magic.
Yeah. They can fly.
I mean...
They fly in brooms.
Not everyone necessarily has the same magic skill set.
Yeah, but flying is
on
brooms.
A basic,
okay. Yeah. And so the first thing main character did was run to the house saying, hello, my name is blah blah, but then something blew up in his face, so they rigged the door to explode. So it seems like they're gonna troll him a lot, I guess.
Awesome.
Or it's gonna be this is your training, try and survive living here. So, yeah, I guess we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, next episode, they'll give me a reason to care about these houses. God damn it, I didn't even notice that. It just, join one of the houses, then you can become the Wizard King. Wait, why? And I'm done with that. Next!
John, your turn.
Alright, so I guess I progressed in Ousama Game, and if you think your life is going badly, this is not... it's not a bad show to pick up. I mean, this is... I'm giving it... I'll give it a chance, but it's just like Schadenfreude, the anime. They're kind of rushing through a lot of stuff.
Russians?
At this point. Yeah. So this last episode was just they introduced a character who we hadn't seen ever before in the flashback, so you know she's dead to begin with. So that's not a very promising place to start. And then they made her love the main character who was in a relationship, newly formed relationship. And then it's just like they just tortured the main character basically for the entire duration of the 25 minutes. He kind of the king gave his best. All right, so it was the main character, his best friend, and his new girlfriend. They were all sitting in a room together, you know, sort of sad because half their class was dying off, but they were having that moment. And then the king, with 10 minutes left until midnight, says his best friend had to have sex before the end of the night. And so is like the main character locked his best friend and his new girlfriend in the room and was just like, do it. And his best friend was like, no, I can't do it. Dying is better than betraying you both. And so the main character goes in, knocks him out, and tells his girlfriend to basically do his unconscious body. It's just like, and that was the beginning of the episode. They just kept ramping up like the torture of the main character, and it's just like,
this is a consistent theme, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Go
like
do 'em.
almost rape.
Yeah.
This seems like it's the early phases. I imagine later on they're going to get to the point where it's just like, because they by the middle of the episode, the main character had to lose something important to him as punishment.
His virginity.
No, I think that's already gone, but I could be wrong. No, but so the character that we were introduced this episode was just like, am I important to you? And he's just like, I'm going to go home and smash all my stuff. And yeah, and so he takes his guitar, smashes his stuff, including the bracelet that his now dead former best friend gave him right before he died. And that was not good enough. This girl then walks herself into the waves and presumably drowns herself. And then it was like you obeyed. Like some of it didn't make any sense.
He didn't do anything to obey. He
That's
would have had to do it himself.
It's like
he would have had to kill her.
It's like
she can't sacrifice herself on behalf of him.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
Amongst the problems with this scene was that. And so, I mean, it's like, if you feel things are going badly for you, you can watch the writer torture this poor guy for 20 minutes at a time. It's very edgy, and...
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It's like, you ever see those, like, kind of sarcastic, but a little bit self-aware because somebody was in this phase, like, 3 years earlier, where it's like, you think anime is for kids, and it's got pictures of Elfen Lied, Death Note, and, like, maybe 2 other things, like Berserk or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this will make that list.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to drift away from the purely sexual, like, I've gotten you to rid yourself of morality, and now it's probably going to wind up being like, who can stand the most pain.
This is gold porn. By that, I don't mean gold porn, I mean gold and porn.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Well, because, like, the middle transition's already there. Like, in this episode, he flashed back to, there was a popularity contest. And whoever lost the popularity contest was going to be punished. And up until this point, they pretty much all have been killed. So the tragic thing about this is they have this contest, and the main character gets down on his hands and knees and basically begs for his friend's life. And he also said in front of the class, like, no matter how this goes, let's just not hold it against each other. We need to save one of them. You need to stop focusing on who you're going to kill and focus on who you want to save. And so they're trying to sort of play that. It's not really morality, but it's sort of like silver lining, find the silver lining in bad situations, something like that. And so, meanwhile, the girl is literally going around and whoring herself out to the guys to get votes.
Yay!
Literally. And so anyway, she loses by 1 vote, which he got because the one guy's like, it won't matter, but I'll give you my vote. So, of course. And anyways, so they're getting the text, like, she's going to be punished. She hears the text and just runs through the window. And, like, throws herself out of the window just to, I guess, like, end her life by her own means. And it was something stupid, like, you need to tell the guy you like that you like him, or something was going to be her punishment. And so it flashes over to her, you know, in this hospital bed. And she winds up dying because she can't physically tell the person that she likes him because she's in a coma.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So again, edgy the anime. Like it's already sort of crossed beyond that like purely sexual thing into like you need to decide who dies, and that's a step away, I think, from like how much pain can you inflict upon yourself and others.
How long until you must have sex with this corpse?
Well, then again, with the unconscious body corpse.
No, it's got to be dead.
It's a fine line.
I'm glad at least two of us have picked shows that are just we can laugh at.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. Like, you kind of have to go into this with a morbid sense of humor almost, and just sort of like a, you know, my life sucks. Then you can leave it like, my life isn't that bad. Oh, reality is so much worse than a show because it's not being... Anyway, that's about the Ousama Game.
Anything else?
So I watched... I did not watch UQ Holder, but I did watch another episode of Net-juu o Susume.
Bless you.
Or the English name, which I don't like that much, Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Yeah.
Have you been watching that?
No. But I might good. At some point. It seems interesting.
Yeah, it is. So this is the thing where they're not trapped in an MMO, but it feels like they are because that's
their
life. Always is. Yeah. They want to be. So it feels like the characters that are kind of like, you know, have a designed feel as opposed to a you know, generic person in the background. It feels like they're going to eventually show up as you know, their characters in the game. Mm-hmm. Surprise. So one of them is this guy at the Quickie Mart, and so the girl goes in, and you know, she's super shy, and she goes to buy a points card, an in-game money card, and the register's broken, and it's going to be fixed in, you know, 10 minutes or whatever. And so they start up a conversation, and it's like, oh, okay, you like the game too, blah, blah, blah. So that happens, and from that you can kind of gather that he's one of the other guild members. So that was interesting. It's kind of like a guessing game about who's, like, which real-life person is which character at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this other guy who is the best friend of the main male love interest, who's kind of, he's his coworker, and he was formerly the coworker of the main female character, before she quit and decided to just live online all day. So he stumbles across her in the Quickie Mart, which is the only place that she goes to, and kind of forces her into going out for drinks for old time's sake. And he tells the guy character about it, and, you know, for jealousy points, I guess. And then they talk about it in game, the two main characters. So it's like the breaking point of kind of like, are they the same person?
Mm-hmm.
So, cliffhanger.
Maybe we'll never know.
Well, we'll probably know next week. At least, you know, whether the suspicions are acted upon or not. But anyway, that's that show. It's good. It's still kind of cutesy. Will they or won't they?
Oh, they will.
They probably will. And that's enough of that.
Side note before we go on to the next anime, the second infusion, this first one came out, I think we underbrewed it a little bit, which is okay, but as I'm drinking it, the extra hit of caffeine from the black tea and the peppermint is sort of generally good for concentration. This would be a really good study tea. Mm-hmm. So as we're going along here, there's been a few times where it sort of just brought me back to the present moment. It's just like, this is nice. I tend to like peppermint anyways, but this would be a great study tea. Anyways, what's next? Ancient Magus Bride?
Sure.
See?
Yeah. I love this show.
I do too.
What was the last thing that happened? Oh, something I found out. So, the first episode I saw of The Ancient Magus Bride was apparently that OVA thing that you guys were talking about, which I had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah,
that's what happened to me.
Yeah,
I thought I was watching the...
We all got kind of confused.
Isn't that great, though? Like, that's how good it is. Is like, it could be this first enthralling episode, or it could be the real show.
So, like, episode, 2 and 3, I saw that, I'm like, that's interesting, I wonder when we're going to come back to that plot line. They're like, hey, why does this say I have not seen episode 1? Oh.
Because it's different.
Well, that's weird. Okay, then. So, yeah, that was fun.
So
right off in episode...
You started with the OVA?
Yeah. So, right off in episode 1, Ainsworth saw everything.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Everything, Nick.
Yeah, don't you remember he bathed her?
Oh.
She saw everything.
One
of my favorite parts of that first episode was just they have this really odd relationship built. Like, he paid for her, then he broke her chains, then he calls her puppy, then he lets her make mistakes, then finally after sort of carrying her, he's like, I didn't tell you, I also want you to be my bride. And there's just like this what do you call that, awkward turtle moment?
Yeah.
Like, the awkward guy. And then the next episode, she really wasn't sure what to think, and like, we should plan out our honeymoon. Let's go to my bookstore.
Yeah, and then they're talking to the lady that works there, and she's like, he didn't
do anything weird,
did he? And she's like, he stripped me and put me into a bath, and
then said he wanted to marry me. Everything about the progression has been great. Then this episode, this week, they went to the Kingdom of Cats. Because if there's one thing that they could have done to win over this generation...
The Kingdom of Cats.
Oh, actually, matter of fact, I didn't even think about this. They did everything to win us over. They not only gave us the Kingdom of Talking Cats, they made the woman cat with different eyes. Like... Bam! Like, just... So much win. That there was like this sort of, the girl thinks she owns the cat, but the cat really owns the person.
Yeah, that's great.
Like, everything about this Inception.
As they were going into the Kingdom of Cats, I just kind of assumed that it was Cat World, like just some kind of like where the Dragon Valley,
right.
Its own little place kind of hidden away, and no, it was just like some
right in front of us
suburb, and like, hey, what are you doing to my cat? Oh, I'm just some weirdo who talks to cats.
It's kawaii, yay! But yeah, that corruption, and again, like, so this goes back to something that I'm still trying to sort of hash out. This feminine storyline, is sort of echoed in the sick girl being helped out. You sort of think that the guy becomes a sorcerer, talks to the sorcerers, and is using the cats' lives to extend the girls, right? Like, that's sort of what you get. And he becomes corrupt, and she's basically in the middle of all this corruption, and she's
like a prisoner almost. Kind
of, but she's also taking responsibility for it.
Yeah.
She's like, this is my fault. And now it's my job to make it right. And again, she can't do it. She needs somebody else with the power to do it. And so she's soliciting the help of the main character, who's about to step up and probably do some pretty cool magic.
Yeah, it was good to see her actually in the action for once.
Yeah, so...
well, she kind of was before, but like actually doing the mage stuff.
To be honest, I didn't really feel the threat as much as I normally would have, but I'm more interested to see what this sorcerer is going to bring out of the relationship from the Magus and the Magus bride. You know, because he's like, you didn't tell her about the thing awaiting her?
Yes.
Ooh. No.
Yes.
Ainsworth, you dog.
And his other name.
Yeah, that got brought up a couple times. It's just, it continues to be... they do great with lighting. And they explain it, we're going to wait until nightfall, and they come and it's sort of candle lit, and they're making all of these, like, normally this would be the case, but this is the tutorial, so we'll make use of it feels like she's out of her depth, but at the same time, it's just like, I think we got this.
Yeah.
Visual, again, they just keep nailing the visuals and the story. And I still am in love with this show.
Yeah. Something I noticed this time was, the music. It's usually kind of sparse. It's not really there, but when it is there, it kind of has this magical quality to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it's a magical show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Don't know really how to describe it.
I know what you're saying.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the fairies will do.
Man, fuck shit up.
Because
they could.
It seems like they're going to. They're getting a lot of, I guess, exposition. They're getting a lot of, like, no, seriously, these fairies, they're going to help you a lot. And then, like, oh yeah, we're going to help you a lot, but we're going to sort of try to lead you to the fairy world first. Okay, I'll forgive you because we need you, and now we need you, and we're going to do this, and the only reason you can do this is because you have the help of the fairies, and then stop. Like, just hard pump the brakes. And I don't know what to expect. I mean... They've taken a lot of crap from fairies, so I hope it was worth the wait, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. Specifically the Ariels, presuming that there's going to be like water fairies or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another thing that was subtle as hell. Ainsworth said, "I'm not really good at this kind of magic," like, and that's why I'm not doing it.
Element was shadow.
Which, again, that's one thing, okay, we have this cool rock, paper, scissors thing going on now, which is always fun. I love that.
Yeah.
And then for 2, like, to see what they're going to make the shadows mean. It's just like, oh, cool, a system!
Yeah.
And
it's a thorn mage, I wonder where the shadows coming with that.
Yeah, prickling shadows. Actually, that's something that seems to be a thing in maybe Japan, if not anime, because there was a strong correlation between that and Shikamaru. I'm trying to remember. There was something that he did with that was sort of thorny.
He pierced people with a shadow.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And so there seems to be like some sort of, not correlation, but association between the two. I'm not sure why. But either way, it seems like, there's another thing. Was it Naruto? Where you had one primary and then you could have a secondary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably other things too.
Yeah, I wonder how much they're going to do that. It seems like with the fairies, because I take her talking to the Ariels as there's going to be other types of fairies of all the elements. So it seems like she's just going to be able to do all of it, but maybe not quite as well as, for instance, the Shadow Mage can do Shadow. Where she's just going to have whatever's around her she can use.
Well, we know that she's got some weird, super important special powers that make her way above everyone else's level, so who knows what that could be. It could be that she's, like, has high stats, so to speak, with every element.
Yeah, I think that she's going to be a little bit more than a jack of all trades, master of none. I think that she's going to become a master of something, but I think that she's going to be, like, 8 out of
Queen
10.
of all trades.
Yeah, it's kind of like usually like the jack of all trades, like especially it seems like we're going to get more than 4 or 5 different types of magic. I could be wrong, but it seems like we're going to get a bunch. And in that case, usually jacks of all trades have like 4s and everything, but they can do whatever they want, and so they have the utility of a bunch of different spells, for example. It seems like she's going to be like a 7 or 8 out of 10 in every category eventually.
Don't forget, she is a Slay Becky.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why she can be the Slayer Biggie, Queen of Bee. Like,
thank you, George.
I think that's really oh my. I think that's why she's going to be like a 7 or 8 in everything, and I think that's stronger than most people get.
Right.
But whatever's going to come of this, I'm still absolutely enthralled. I really look forward to this coming out every week.
Yeah. Another show that I'll always listen to the opening to.
Yeah. And the more I watch it too, it's just they did that really well. They did enough allowing you to watch the subtleties in the opening of her sort of looking off into the darkness and then everything turning around and there being little like spouts of light, and that where they put the light is important. It's well composed. So many shows like Black Clover, you can say that the animation is smooth and they have a lot of these shonen tropes. This and this and this they do kind of well, and then they drop the ball on this. This is just like, it's beautiful. I think everything across the board is 9 out of 10, and nothing's really that much beyond anything else. So I like the music. Is what'd you say, sparse, but when it's there, it's great.
Yeah.
But when it's there, it's not even it's there when distracting.
It's necessary.
Yeah. So like thinking about it, like I knew what she meant when she said it, but I don't think about the anime and go like, man, that music for that scene was great. It's just the whole scene is just so well composed. I'm sitting there almost with my jaw hanging down.
It's it doesn't stand out because it doesn't need to.
Right.
They need more Super Saiyans though.
This is episode 4.
Episode 112. Super Saiyan Slayer Beggy.
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Slay Beggy.
Kaioken times 20.
There's probably going to be something where the fairies merge with her or something. Some crazy thing. Or she gets like a ring of them to just like dance around her. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's coming.
I don't know about that.
In regards to Super Saiyans, the latest Dragon Ball Super episode.
I think this was like Ultra Instinct Goku it had me going like, yeah, cool transformation, but I think this was like the whole episode was more exciting on average.
Yeah, this was just a pure action episode.
Yeah.
And I really loved the fact that they brought... Because we all know Dragon Ball Z, they kind of did away with the martial arts aspect and it was just, who's got the bigger dick? Or hair in this case. And here they brought back the whole martial arts aspect. With Caulifla being just a brawler. And so Goku at base
fighting,
form,
just like, regular Goku fighting Super Saiyan 2.
That was just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like he was training them while training himself. It seemed like he was trying to like retrain himself for the like Ultra Instinct type of stuff.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's what I think. Nick and I were talking about this off screen.
What?
And
we were.
It really seems like they're trying to use the Saiyan hack.
I have no memory of this. I don't know what he's talking about.
Like every time that a Saiyan is defeated, they get stronger. Uh-huh. And so they're just trying to.
Wait, are you just messing with me? Or did
no,
we
had like a half an hour conversation about this.
What fun?
Yesterday, I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday or the day before, or
I
it was
didn't
Sunday.
watch it yet.
It wasn't yesterday. No point were you guys.
I was explaining it to you. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So here's the point.
I hadn't seen it yet. I just watched it before he got here.
I explained the episode. So anyway, so what happened was they're just totally using this hack where every time Saiyans are beat, they get stronger, and so
they gotta be beaten to near death, though.
Yes, and they keep like just going down to the point where they're like, done, and like Goku reached that point already, and so they're bringing each other up, bringing each other up
like 5 times.
building each other up, getting stronger, and I really think that they're trying to reach that level of he's trying to get back the Ultra Instinct. For all intents and purposes, that seems what he's doing.
Yeah,
and at the same time, if he can have, because he also, I think if he's not smart enough, he's wise enough to know that even at Ultra Instinct, he probably can't take down Jiren. So to have other people at least near that level as support, it could be important.
Yeah,
So I don't think the two of them would, or the three of them would team up against Jiren. I think the Saiyan competition instinct is too hard.
Well, you know what? Because people suck, I will spoil what's going to happen next episode. And let's just say a game changer comes into play. Something we've seen before, and probably none of us expected to be part of this tournament, is somehow going to be part of this tournament. And so this brings a new element of like, holy shit, how many more things can happen now? And so now I can see a path to dealing with Jiren, but it could also backfire. I'm very upset that they spoiled this because it's a very what the fuck type of like, what? Since when is this a thing?
Yay!
Where'd you see that?
They're gonna fuse?
Huh?
They're gonna fuse?
Maybe. I didn't see it. Actually, no, someone did show a fucking picture. But it was mostly just people talking online, like, oh man, next episode when this happens...
But I mean, what method was it spoiled?
What method?
What medium?
Was it a preview or leak or what?
It was just people... First it was on Reddit, people talking about the episode. There's supposed to be spoiler tags, assholes. And then, fucking Facebook, next episode, picture, text. It's like, you dicks.
So it was just the end trailer next week thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you see it?
No.
Yeah. It'll definitely be interesting.
Dragon Ball's the worst with that.
Yeah.
Next week, Goku wins everything.
So we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about next week with the potentialities of this new element.
Frieza defeated.
What else did it say just about the awesomeness of watching everyone fight?
I will say that, this I blamed on Jiren, to be honest, but it felt like a filler episode that I really loved to watch.
This episode?
Yeah, I had so much fun with the fight, but
I don't think it
knowing
felt
that
like
Jiren's
a
sitting
filler
there and he
episode.
could just crush them at any point, it's just like, I don't know. I didn't feel like that much got progressed.
No.
But I did like how she was a brawler being beaten by Goku regular, and then she's learning quickly how to become a martial artist.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it seems like
how the heck?
kind of like Frieza, where like he was just super super powerful, but by default, but train and you could get even super stronger.
Yeah. And
she's just kind of training martial arts instinctively during the fight with Goku.
How did how did Kale master that berserk mode so quickly? Like she's just back again.
She just like poured power into herself, basically.
So she
didn't mean to do it. I don't think.
Like, there's always been an emotional thing that's triggered her.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional.
Okay,
we'll find
she's
out
just
next.
like, I'm gonna go Super Saiyan 5.
Right, exactly. Like what? I mean, okay, like it got real. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. But yeah, overall fun episode.
I think I want Goku to lure her over to Jiren and just see what happens. That would be the wise thing to do.
Over here's my after image. Kill smash!
One of the things I like that this episode should have made clear is that when Goku was fighting various people at Super Saiyan Blue, it doesn't mean he was going all out.
Yeah.
A lot of people just assume because, he fighted Kamehameha at Krillin at Super Saiyan Blue, so they're just like, oh,
Krillin's
man.
stronger.
Yeah.
Krillin's stronger than Goku in Super Saiyan Blue.
Yeah, and when he was fighting 17 when he was Super Saiyan Blue, like, oh man, 17 must have had one hell of an upgrade. Like, no, he was just testing him out. And so, if he continues serious fighting, I guess next episode we'll see how he does with Kale when he's serious.
So from what I understand, Blue doesn't necessarily mean more strength, it just means more efficiency, like less power is used, or less stamina.
It's not less stamina, because it's still a stamina-heavy thing. It gives him better control. Because the way you mastered the thing was with key control.
Right. So what would be, like, the equivalent to...
Boobs? I don't know.
Good work. But I mean, it's like got the power equivalent to something, but it uses less energy.
Or Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan God uses less stamina, but it's also weaker. Basically, just think of it as just like a hard reboot of the Super Saiyan ways. Just instead of using regular ki, now use God ki. So, yeah, I think that's about all we can say about this episode. Next episode we'll have plenty of chit-chats. And yeah. Also, for the English version, we finally get to hear English Super Saiyan Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Can't wait to hear that scream.
I've gotten so used to the subbed version that I don't really associate the voices. Alright, where do we begin?
Ooh, there's a couple of things we could begin with. I suppose...
Why don't we begin with what tea we're drinking?
We are drinking another one of our holiday teas. The candy cane tea. Guess what it tastes like?
Tea.
I'm gonna say it tastes like gingerbread.
No,
about to say
no. That was 2 weeks ago. This is candy cane.
Oh, does it taste like candy canes?
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually, now that I think about it. Wow, actually, I was a huge idiot for saying gingerbread.
You okay there, young man?
You're a huge idiot for saying you draw words.
Oh,
You
Nikolai.
knew what I was saying.
I was.
Welcome to the Dragon's Flow Teacast, episode 16?
Ish.
Somewhere around there.
Close enough, doesn't matter.
I am the tea man.
I'm Nick.
And I'm drinking tea.
You sure are.
I am what I eat.
So I
And
suppose
drink.
the first thing we can begin with is what I think is probably the biggest news of this week. Funimation being acquired by Sony.
Just blow your load right off the bat, huh?
Yeah. That's why I'm still single. I really don't... I did not see this coming. I didn't even, hear talks about it. This was kind of...
It's kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it sucks because Sony just... When they take things, they tend to ruin it.
Why do you say that?
Because they have a history of that.
Such as?
I'm trying to think of examples.
Well, as he thinks of examples, the article...
As he struggles to think of examples.
The article was written by, they knew that would be people's reaction. It said, basically, we're still going to be the same Funimation you've known and loved, but now we'll have the backing of Funimation. And they're trying to, put a positive spin on
Sony.
it. Sony, sorry. Now we'll have the backing of Sony, and they gave a couple names, and it was just basically no, guys, it's okay. We'll totally
Yeah.
be the same. It's like
yeah, we're running damage control, so it'll be fine.
kind of. Well, it's more like it's more like when you're graduating junior high and like we'll keep in touch forever.